Quotes from the book, The Alchemist. And, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. It's the possibility of having a dream come true that makes life interesting. When we love, we always strive to become better than we are. One is loved because one is loved. No reason is needed for loving. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. So, I love you because the entire universe conspired to help me find you. The secret of life, though, is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. The simple things are also the most extraordinary things, and only the wise can see them. Everyone seems to have a clear idea of how other people should lead their lives, but none about his or her own. Remember that wherever your heart is, there you will find your treasure. Tell your heart that the fear of suffering is worse than the suffering itself. No matter what he does, every person on earth plays a central role in the history of the world. Don't give in to your fears. If you do, you won't be able to talk to your heart. People are capable at any time in their lives of doing what they dream of. This is what we call love. When you are loved, you can do anything in creation. We are travelers on a cosmic journey, stardust, swirling and dancing in the eddies and whirlpools of infinity. To realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation. When you can't go back, you have to worry only about the best way of moving forward. The world's greatest lie is that at a certain point in our lives, we lose control of what's happening to us. It's what you have always wanted to accomplish. Everyone, when they are young, knows what their personal legend is. People learn early in their lives what is their reason for being. The secret of happiness is to see all the marvels of the world, and never to forget the drops of oil on the spoon. He still had some doubts about the decision he had made. When someone makes a decision, he is really diving into a strong current that will carry him to places he had never dreamed of. When you are loved, there's no need at all to understand what's happening, because everything happens within you. Quotes from the book, Veronika Decides to Die. The 2 hardest tests on the spiritual road are the patience to wait for the right moment and the courage not to be disappointed with what we encounter. People never learn anything by being told, they have to find out for themselves. Be crazy, but learn how to be crazy without being the center of attention. Be brave enough to live different. You are someone who is different but who wants to be the same as everyone else. And that, in my view, is a serious illness. You have 2 choices: to control your mind or to let your mind control you. Haven't you learned anything, not even with the approach of death? Stop thinking all the time that you're in the way, that you're bothering the person next to you. If one day I could get out of here, I would allow myself to be crazy. Nothing in this world happens by chance. Collective madness is called sanity. I want to continue being crazy, living my life the way I dream it and not the way the other people want it to be. Be like the fountain that overflows, not like the cistern that merely contains. Once upon a time, a powerful wizard who wanted to destroy an entire kingdom placed a magic potion in the well from which the inhabitants drank. The king was worried and tried to control the population by issuing a series of edicts governing security and public health. The policemen and the inspectors, however, had also drunk the poisoned water, and they thought the king's decisions were absurd. Life is short or too long for us to allow ourselves the luxury of living it so badly. That is why I am so fond of you, because you are neither mad enough to be locked up nor sufficiently normal to be intolerable. In a world where everyone struggles to survive whatever the cost, how could one judge those who decide to die? No one should ever ask themselves that, why am I unhappy? The question carries within it the virus that will destroy everything. If we ask that question, it means we want to find out what happiness is. It's best not to be too moral. You cheat yourself out of too much life. Freedom is not the absence of commitments, but the ability to choose and commit myself to what is best for me. Each second of life is a miracle that repeats itself infinitely many times. The world lies in the hands of those who have the courage to dream and who take the risk of living out their dreams. I was trying hard not only not to think but also not feel anything. However, there was something stronger than my will which kept growing inside me. All human beings are different from each other. Everyone thinks they are capable of surviving any blow fate throws at them. An awareness of death encourages us to live more intensely. Quotes from the book, 11 Minutes. Everything tells me that I am about to make a wrong decision, but making mistakes is just part of life. When I had nothing to lose, I had everything. When I stopped being who I am, I found myself. Now that she had nothing to lose, she was free. Passion makes a person stop eating, sleeping, working, feeling at peace. When we meet someone and fall in love, we have a sense that the whole universe is on our side. I can choose either to be a victim of the world or an adventurer in search of treasure. No one loses anyone because no one owns anyone. Anyone who is in love is making love the whole time, even when they're not. The strongest love is the love that can demonstrate its fragility. I've learned that waiting is the most difficult bit, and I want to get used to the feeling. The most important experiences a man can have are those that take him to the very limit. The universe only makes sense when we have someone to share our feelings with. When you find your path, you must not be afraid. You need to have sufficient courage to make mistakes. The act of discovering who we are will force us to accept that we can go further than we think. We can never judge the lives of others, because each person knows only their own pain and renunciation. The secret of life is to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. When we least expect it, life sets us a challenge to test our courage and willingness to change. Life always waits for some crisis to occur before revealing itself at its most brilliant. The simple things are also the most extraordinary things, and only the wise can see them. The more in harmony you are with the flow of your own existence, the more magical life becomes. We must never stop dreaming. Dreams provide nourishment for the soul, just as a meal does for the body. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. The world is changed by your example, not by your opinion. The boat is safer anchored at the port, but that's not the aim of boats. You have to take risks. We will only understand the miracle of life fully when we allow the unexpected to happen. Quotes from the book, By the River Piedra. I sat down and wept. Waiting is painful. Forgetting is painful. But not knowing which to do is the worst kind of suffering. If pain must come, may it come quickly. Because I have a life to live, and I need to live it in the best way possible. But love is always new. Regardless of whether we love once, twice, or a dozen times in our life, we always face a brand new situation. In real life, love has to be possible. Even if it is not returned right away, love can only survive when the hope exists that you will be able to win over the person you desire. Yes, my mind was wandering. I wished I were there with someone who could bring peace to my heart. Love is like a narcotic. At first it brings the euphoria of complete surrender. The next day you want more. We have to take love where we find it, even if that means hours, days, weeks of disappointment and sadness. The moment we begin to seek love, love begins to seek us, and to save us. We simply have to accept it because it is what nourishes our existence. If we reject it, we die of hunger because we lack the courage to stretch out a hand and pluck the fruit from the branches of the tree of life. Love can consign us to hell or to paradise, but it always takes us somewhere. I wished I were there with someone who could bring peace to my heart. With that reassurance, the time would pass more slowly. We could be silent for a while because we'd know we had the rest of our lives together for conversation. I wouldn't have to worry about serious matters, about difficult decisions and hard words. Love is like a narcotic. At first it brings the euphoria of complete surrender. The next day you want more. You're not addicted yet, but you like the sensation and you think you can still control things. You think about the person you love for 2 minutes and forget them for 3 hours. But then you get used to that person and you begin to be completely dependent on them. Now you think about him for 3 hours and forget him for 2 minutes. If he's not there, you feel like an addict who can't get a fix. And just as addicts steal and humiliate themselves to get what they need, you're willing to do anything for love. Love is the most important thing in the world, but it is also the most painful. The power of love and faith. The book explores the transformative power of love and faith, showing how these two forces can heal wounds, give strength, and bring about personal growth. The importance of following one's heart. The protagonist embarks on a spiritual journey in pursuit of her true self and her long-lost love, highlighting the importance of following one's heart and listening to one's inner voice.